You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
And she's like, I'm playing to the back row, motherfucker. And just if you ever watch Nancy Wilson from Heart, just play the acoustic guitar for, I can't remember the song, but she is just, fuck that. Like, I cannot see somebody like, and it's just like, yeah, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dreamboat Annie's all powered by cocaine.
She's powered by cocaine, and ladies and gentlemen, we are powered by Hard Mountain Dew. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Couch Potatoes.
Hell yeah, brother. 3 for Dale.
That's right. I am Alex
Morrison.
And if you are tuning in, that means we are already a few sips into our Hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast. We filmed a little video on that. We'll see how well that turns out. If it turned out okay, you'll see it in the episode description. If not, it'll be just sent to one specific person that wanted to see it anyway. But yeah, we are back at the table again. I got a couple random little news topics, and in case the video doesn't make it to air, yeah, the final Mountain Dew Hard Seltzer Baja Blast. It immediately gave me like Windex vibes. It was like the color and smell of everything. But honestly, not that bad. For me, I think I put it like a 6.57 out of 10. It was right underneath the watermelon. That one was still a little better to me.
You know, it's got a main, like a citrus taste. You know, it does look like Windex.
It really does.
Or that industrial cleaner we used to use back in in restaurants.
Oh, the blue shit.
Yeah, the blue shit. Remember, strip the steel.
Man, why can't we get that? Why can't we get the purple stuff and all that for like at home cleaning?
You can at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree still sells purple stuff. Awesome.
Like, well, yeah, awesome.
But that's basically what it is industrial cleaner.
Oh yeah.
So the purple stuff is a.
Because I know they sell an item called the purple stuff, but it's not like the actual shit you get.
So it's watered down. So the stuff restaurants get is concentrate. So, but when you use purple stuff in restaurants, you water it down really heavily anyway.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, you just go, bloop, and that's it. That's all you do. That's good for the whole floor. But the purple stuff you buy at Dollar Tree, which back then it was $1, now it's like $1.25. But like you get. I used to work at a Dollar Tree. I never understood. You could get a spray bottle for $1. Or you could get a gallon for $1. I'm like,
without the spray bottle.
I'm like, why the fuck would I buy a spray bottle?
The convenience, man. It's the same reason why you can buy a 2 liter of a soda for $1.25, or you can go to the fucking cold case and pick it up for $2.
Yeah,
you're paying for that cooling convenience.
That's freakonomics, man.
Freakonomics. No, but it's nice to finally get back around the table again this week to discuss a few things. We didn't have that much news topics, but with it getting really close to September now, we've already kind of started getting in our spooky mood, or at least I have. Yeah. I've been starting to kind of get back in the horror mood, so our main topic's going to start kind of leaning toward our horror things. We've been putting all the horror ideas on the back burner, but now's the time to start cracking them open, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of cracking them open, right before the show, usually this would be a something good for you topic, but with this being something that kind of strikes Chris kind of on both aspects of his music love, we double checked, and Dolly Parton has been steadily releasing singles from her new Rockstar record coming out. So far, Magic Man, Bygones, We're the Champions, and Let It Be have been all released, and we just now kind of skimmed those. So yeah, Chris, what do you think of this? Because I know you have a deep love for like classic country, and this kind of classic rock has always been a part of your life, and now it just feels like the two worlds are getting mashed together.
Well, they've all been doing that, because you talk about a good example, Kiss. Kiss doing their all little separate albums. We talked about that earlier, and they all sound not Kiss.
The solo albums.
But, you know, they're doing something they want to do. I think people don't kind of misunderstand a lot of people when they talk about, you know, Metallica only does thrash metal. No, motherfucker, when they're separate and by themselves, some of them kind of like country music or something like rap music. You know, people like what they like. They just happen to fall into the groove of doing that one thing they're very good at.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton is a perfect example of that. She supported rock albums in the past. You know, she was the first country artist to ever go pop. Like, that's a fact. Jolene is a pop song, not a country song. So hearing her come out with a rock album, you know, it is covers, which I'm fine with.
I think there's supposed to be like a couple originals, but no, it is heavily original covers.
But, you know, Let It Be by the Beatles, it sounds like a uplifting gospel song, the way it's played on the album, you know, the single. There's not too much of a rock, you know, not a lot of riffs in it until like the tail end. It sounded like, but no, her and Paul and Ringo and all them, you know, really knocked it out with that one, you know. And to have the originals, you know, with them, it kind of really helps. You know, that makes it go a long way. So I can't wait for her to do fucking Hellbent for Leather.
Well, I mean, she's got Bygones with fucking Rob Halford.
You know, he's like, you know, that motherfucker is like that old gay man. It's just like, let's do Hellbent for Leather real quick. Or Grinder.
We will fuck you up your entire fan base. Let's do it.
But like Dolly Parton, you know, even with her own music, is very liberal with what happens to it. Like, if you ever happenstance look into the story of Dolly Parton, how she lost her entire catalog, bought it back, and, you know, really, you know, was the first artist to own their own thing. I mean, Prince even took an example from this by changing his name so he could do his own thing, be left be. But no, it was pretty good. Bygones sounded really good. You know, it's a duet. You're not, you know, country music's big with that. You know, Rob Halford coming from British Steel and Grinder and Painkiller and stuff like that. You're not going to hear that. But
what'd you think of Magic Man?
Magic Man, that's a tough fucking song, because that's one of those, we'll have this debate one day on an episode, who did it better, the cover or the original. The Wilson sisters from fucking Heart, they come hard, dude. And I was telling you, I was recently watched a documentary about the 70s, and one of them was the invention of arena rock. You know, you had the showman of, you know, Kiss is a show, you know, Kiss, you know, it's all about stage presence and stuff like that. But Heart and Fleetwood Mac, before when it was just Nick Fleetwood and a handful of guys, they played to the back row. Those motherfuckers played loud and played very well, and very, if you listen to Heart, it's very technical for a band like that, you know.
Oh yeah.
But Magic Man, that's one of those songs that's about fucking. That's a goddamn fact. But she kind of hits it kind of at the tail end when she hits that chorus part. But that other part, because I can't remember her goddamn name, but the lead singer of Heart, you know, she's whisper telling you about this magic man, this guy that's going to ruin my goddamn life, and I'm going to let it happen. But that part, it kind of fell short, I felt like. But other than that, you know, that's still a tough song, and it's the best cover I've heard so far. I've not heard a lot of Heart covers that well.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
But you need someone like the girl from Florence and the Machine to really knock out, with that kind of voice, to really knock out something like that. And not even that song, but like Barracuda or something like that. You know, something like really fast and tough.
No, and I had not listened to any of these beforehand, because the only other single she had released was World on Fire, which I think was an original of hers, and I didn't really dig on it, so I just kind of like forgot it was coming out. And then when I forget what we were talking about, but it made me look up Dolly Parton, and I saw all these singles, so I was checking it out when you were too. And man, the Let It Be with Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr really surprised me. Like that's really cool. I think Ringo's playing drums on the track. If so, that's fucking awesome. And she's got Paul kind of doing like a call and response chorus on thing during when she's like, let it be, let it be. You know, he's throwing his goofy little backups in it. You know, you've made it when you want to do a cover of a Beatles song and you get all the remaining Beatles to do it with you. You know you've made it at that point. I know she's had probably no problem understanding that she's made it, but like, if you could ever quantify when someone's made it, if you want to do a Beatles song and you get Ringo and Paul to be like, yeah, I'll do it with you, what else? What's left?
And they both came up at the same time. That's another thing. These people both came up in the music scene from different paths, but still came up in it. And just to probably hear some of the stuff they like. Hey, Paul, when was the first time you heard Dolly Parton? Or hey, when did you first hear the Beatles? It's like, oh, when they first started.
It's like you can almost tell, like, with the way she was singing "Let It Be," it probably wasn't the first time she's ever sang that line. Like, she sung it to herself in the car. She's done it for something.
This isn't the first time she's covered rock music before. She's done it before. There's a Black Crow song. Let your light shine down. Dun, 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 dun,
Whoa, let your light shine down.
But she did her version of it. It's a country version. It's fun. I think it was like 2005, 2004. I think when that song came out for her.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing that. I'm like, that's a fucking Black Crow song, and and before that, it was a fucking Motown song or a fucking blues song from back in the day. So hearing covers from certain people who might be out of their element or are just fans,
right.
At the end of the day, that's what this is. This is, some fans got together who happened to be in the industry and made a covers album.
Right.
Elton John did that with a bunch of his friends to cover his music. There's a whole Elton John album where it's all covers of Elton John songs by people he likes. The lead singer of Florence and the Machine does Tiny Dancer. It is fantastic. She hits it. I have a tough time saying who did it better, him or her or Elton John.
That's tough. You can't beat the Queen.
You gotta.
Elton's the Queen, man.
Yeah, but you gotta listen to it too. So like when he's the one producing the whole album, and it's just like, hey guys, play that song, play that fucking shit loud. But no, I kind of excited to see where else she goes with it. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she does cover an Elton John song.
I mean, the full track listing's out. I feel like we went through it that one time. I don't remember what's all on
it. Queen is on there.
Yeah.
But they did something different with We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. So, like, if you listen to the radio, it's always We Will Rock You comes first, and then the tail end is We Are the Champions because it's a play out.
Right.
Because
she flipped it.
Yeah, she flipped it. And what she's doing is she just takes the front part of We Will Rock You and puts it at the tail end.
Yeah.
And doesn't play the whole intro of Brian May with a guitar, and just basically the whole song. It's only the first minute, I think, that's played out at the end. But
that's about right. I was waiting for the guitar bit to come in, but it never did.
Yeah, but if she had got Brian May to show up, because he's still got it, or at least the fucking bass player, he's still around.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I didn't think about that.
He wrote what is it? I was about to say Dust in the Wind. That's not it. But another one, Bites the Dust. He wrote that. And that bass line, boom, 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 and it's a disco riff. That's all it is. It's all a disco riff.
Boom, 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 boom.
But yeah, that's all it is. And then you got Freddie Mercury making it into a rock song, and then Brian May kicking in when it's a fucking rock song. Steamboats running down the street with a brim pulled way down though.
But yeah, so just a little sidetrack to the news before we move on into the news segment. Definitely want to get a new news segment thing. It's like I almost kind of want to go like that late 90s, early 2000s where it's like the and it's like this is the news.
Like, you can get like that old late 90s Dateline.
This is the news.
This is Dateline. 14 people murdered on the Eastern Seaboard. It's like, God damn. Fucking Christ. The way to open the game. Where's the good news? Oh, that's at the end. Where we catch him and electrify his ass.
A little bit of side news before going on to the rest of it. Ahsoka does debut next week.
Oh,
shit. That snuck up on us.
The Star War continues.
The War of the Star. But yeah, so that's going to be coming out here soon. Are you looking forward to Ahsoka?
A little bit. I just finished Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay.
But I was kind of like half-ass watching it because I had done a bunch of other stuff doing it. But with that, I'm kind of hopeful about this. Just because I think this one has a little bit more care to it. And it's been on the back burner. You know, it's been on the list for a long time.
It really has.
And we've been building this character up since, you know, on the animated series, continued animated series, the Book of Boba Fett, you know, Mandalorian. You know, we've been building this character, and everybody's so fucking hyped, and now we get it, and it's like, it's here. All right, let's watch it. I hope it's good. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I for some reason I still just have not been.
It does sneak up on you though.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why I was just like, it is coming out here soon, because it's like I'm not hyped for it. I haven't been like extremely excited for a Star Wars release in a minute.
I think it's because of this past year of all the hype of all these shows coming out and then kind of not really delivering. You know, kind of it feels like half in the bag sometimes. You know, out of all those shows we watched on Disney Plus, you know, 2 I think kind of stood out. The rest kind of fell by the wayside. So, of all the Disney Plus shows, like other than like Hawkeye and Loki, I can't think of the other ones that really got, you know, piqued an interest up, that really met the hype. You know what I'm saying?
I still hold a candle for WandaVision.
Yeah,
I still really enjoyed that one.
I think with that one is it's so, you know, another season's not going to come out of that because it's a niche, you know, and it's just a setup. Yeah. But like there could be another Hawkeye show. There could be you know, we got another season of Loki. You know, these, you know, have some longevity. When you're WandaVision, I think would have been more fun if it was a mini series instead of just a season. You know what I'm saying? A mini series, you know, is you know, 5 or 6 episodes, about an hour and a half long each. I think that could have fleshed out a lot more stuff. Yeah, I could see that. You know, and you know, Disney's doing the old thing of like, hey, every Tuesday at 9, you know, it's just like, come and check out WandaVision. See, I don't know though. I figured I was just going to be a little bit more hyped by the time Ahsoka came around, but who knows? Maybe it'll wind up being the second Andor of the whole series, and it be something, you know, enjoyable, but no one pays attention to. You know, out of the whole Andor thing, I never heard anything negative. I just didn't watch it. I didn't either. But like, I've never heard nothing negative. I've heard there's fantastic acting. There's some very sad moments, and like it really pushes some buttons. But like, I've never heard nothing in the negative. No, I hadn't either. That'll be one of those things I kind of watch probably on the summer, like another like winter, where things kind of slow down. There is some weird news. Okay. In Peru. Okay. Concerning aliens. Oh, okay. And our ongoing alien series. Go right ahead. But no, the Peruvian natives in the jungle were saying that 7-foot-tall aliens were coming down and snatching people. But it was kind of a misunderstanding in a more negative way. It turned out illegal gold miners were snatching people out of the forest. Holy shit. Yeah. Damn. And the word jetpack got used a couple times, and I'm just like, you're telling me these guys have jetpacks? Are we living in the goddamn future now? Like, is it here? We're living in the future. Yeah, living in the fucking future, living in the dream. But it was just weird news things that caught my eye one day, and I was just what in the blue fuck is that? Well, this still wouldn't be an episode without an obligatory can pop. Pop the top, brother. Yeah, after the other week, I definitely had to go back and pick up more of the Jack Daniel's Coca-Cola cans. Those were fucking amazing. I did find out that the Oppenheimer movie is predicted to be the highest grossing Christopher Nolan movie. Really? That means it beats out 2 Batman movies. Wow. Impressive. Well, at least it wasn't a bomb. Dude, I saw a guy online recreate the explosive with a fish tank and a couple of like handmade items, like with the effects that he does. He didn't make a bomb. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, no. But no, he recreated the practical effects that are used in the film using homemade items in a fish tank. And but instead of being the bright orange and reds and stuff, it's a clear, and then he just changes the tint and contrast into the orange. And dude, it looked fucking amazing. And this motherfucker's got like a magic wand and a goddamn fucking fish tank. And Christopher Nolan's just biting himself in the ass. He's like, you telling me I could have done this with some crafts? Oh, well, same thing with Jordan Peele. We also watched Nope the other night, and I still hadn't seen that until the other day. That's a wild ass movie. Yeah. But I didn't realize just how much of it was practical effects. Yeah.
And because sure as shit, like Facebook watches us and listens to us, it saw that we saw Nope, and within a few days, it served me up this meme of them like showing how they were doing like the lights on the house and everything. And it was like this gigantic light bulb above this house just to give it that on down effect.
Making it ominous and scary. But I think the biggest thing was the chimpanzee was the main CGI, the biggest expense.
Yeah,
but that's a wild scene anyway.
You couldn't have done that with a regular fucking ape.
I do like some people, like, you know, he has the movie Us. Mm-hmm. He has
Get Out,
and then he's got Nope. And someone said, well, what does Nope mean? You know, Us is, you know, they're copies of Us. You know, Get Out. You know, I need to break out of this prison. Nope is not of planet Earth. And I didn't catch that until later on when someone told me that. I'm just like, that's clever as fuck, because Nope is also the standard of Nope. No, I'm good.
Well, see, yeah, because I was about to answer the question, not from, you know, or what did you say?
Not of planet Earth.
Not of planet Earth, yeah. So that is really cool, but I took away the artistic side of Nope being sometimes turning the blind eye kills the evil. Yeah. And imagining it's like, nope, I'm still going on with my day. Yeah, well, I'm not fucking with this.
Yeah,
nope.
That kind of
resilience.
Yeah, but it's also that's how you defeat voodoo. Mm-hmm. Voodoo only works if you believe in it. So if you just like, no, it's not real, and it doesn't affect you.
I thought it was also an interesting concept of don't look it in the eye. Yeah. Don't look at it. Yeah. Looking at it causes it to attack.
It gets worse. Yeah. If you just focus on it. If you focus on it, that, you know, Jordan Peele is all about analogy anyway. So it's like mixing in pop culture, you know, irreverent pop culture, but still, it's a wild movie. I think we'll cover that on our list of, you know, horror flicks of 2023 and 2022.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, that was a fun movie.
Mm-hmm. And little bit of additional news. Literally a few days after we wrapped up our episode, more news came out with Johnny Hardwick, and it was shown that he did record a little bit of voice acting for the King of the Hill revival series, which kind of gives me a little bit of hope that they might actually do some variation of our fan-written script. Because knowing that we've got a little bit of voice from him, that means we'll get an alley scene. Yeah. They can piece together enough to give us an alley scene. So that right there immediately put me at ease. After that, I don't have to have more Dale. Throw him in the desert, let him get abducted. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. I would be totally fine with that. But no, I am really happy to hear that he did get to record at least some lines for the new series, but also kind of use that unfortunate news as a bit of leak news. That means the scripts have been finished. Yeah. That means storyboarding is done. Yeah. And now we've just got to worry about animation. So the series is a little bit further along than we were kind of thinking it was. So that's also kind of exciting to hear.
But going back to SAG-AFTRA real quick.
Yeah. Because that is on pause because of that as well.
Yeah. But there are some other things that aren't on pause in Hollywood, especially for Universal. So nowadays, when they decide to make a movie, they get distribution rights first. But Hollywood has slated 500 movies without guaranteeing distribution. One of the leaders of the union said this hasn't happened since the 30s. And he's like, and that was an issue before my time. And I thought back, I'm just like, what happened in the 30s? Oh, propaganda films came out. A lot of propaganda films came out in the 30s. A lot of anti-communists, a lot of versions of Reefer Madness, a lot of, you know, weird movie-length PSAs and stuff like that. But this was before, you know, distribution for what it was. But a caveat to that is distribution through streaming services. So that, which was non-existent back then, it was impossible. But yeah, it's kind of shocking that 500 greenlit items without dedicated distribution has already been rolled out.
And see, what's the point of doing that then?
Flood the market. That's how you do it. If I got a bunch of people who are refusing to work, I can get scabs to make half-ass shit just to hold me tight until. You just got to stay afloat. That's all they got to do.
Right, but if it's not having any sort of good guaranteed distribution, where are they getting the float from?
No, that's another big thing. Where's the money coming from?
Right. So like if they're like using these movies almost as torpedoes anyway, they're not recouping anything.
Well, you're going to assume they're not going to recoup anything. After if you shoot 500 bullets, you're going to hit something. You just need to hit it once. For like just look at some of these some of your more indie films. During that kind of lull in like movies when you had like Saw for the first time, that movie cost like $10 to make it. And those motherfuckers knocked it out. But that's just one example. You have someone like Ty West, who makes perfect horror movies, who doesn't barely spend a dime. And he doesn't go through places like A24, your indie stuff. He made them himself. And so we get cool movies like You're Next or House of the Devil. And those are fantastic films. Not just a cult following, but money out the ass. We talked about it, I think, late last year, but the guy who made Skinamarink.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, shoestring, I think, $2,500 and knocked it out at the Cannes Film Festival. Boom, he's right now. Guess what? He's on streaming right now. So he's making his money. You're talking, I think, $25,000. I think it's most he spent. And he begged, borrowed, and stole for that. But like $25,000 to make a movie that fucking dominate the Cannes Film Festival, that's pretty fucking impressive.
It's Clerks all over again.
Yeah. So I think we're going to get a lot of those coming out soon. I just finished watching some of Dimension 20 recently, the newest one with Hank Green, Mentopolis, and it's fantastic. And that's the third one on this part of the year.
Yep. Yeah, so like we mentioned the last episode, Sam Reich said that Dropout was resuming production, and of course everyone was thrilled for that. And so definitely. And they got new episodes
of Play It By Ear. They got new episodes of Noise Boys or whatever the fuck's called. Make Some Noise.
Make Some Noise,
yeah. So they got new episodes of that. They're doing fine, and those people are getting paid because it's within the contract. They've agreed to the terms.
So folks, definitely check out that shit. I mean, it's quality, it's high quality, great content. One of the most inexpensive streaming services you can pay for.
I highly recommend watching the website instead of the app because they get more money if you watch it from the website.
Got it. Well, they won't be getting that from me. They'll be still getting it through the app. But I can't think of much more news we can really cover, but that's honestly fine by me because I feel like our main topic's going to be kind of heavy because it's finally a movie series I've finally sat down to fully watch. So can you think of anything else that we might want to do?
Not offhand, no.
No? All right. Well then, Chris, it's time to find out what your favorite horror movie is. When we move on into our main topic. The Scream franchise.
Fantastic franchise.
A franchise that I kind of slept on, but it's really weird because while watching these, I started to remember that I was born in 92. I remember when these movies came out because if I was born in 92, I was 5 when Scream 2 came out, which meant I was I had just turned 5 by the time Scream 2 came out, and I was in the interest of horror. And I remember that fucking mask scaring the shit out of me.
I was 8 when that movie came out.
Yeah.
We had a fucking metal Halloween costume that came out like next year. It was the Scream mask, but it had a plastic covering over it.
With the little pump.
And the little heart. You pumped it, and it pumped red dye, water, through the mask, and it rained blood, and you had your little fake knife, and that's what I was for that Halloween when I was 9.
Hell yeah.
But my parents made the mistake of giving it to me weeks earlier, so I just kept fucking with it and just kept pumping until the mask turned pink.
Oh God.
like dyed pink because I just kept pumping that fucking heart. I was just like, how does it work?
No, I have very weird, vivid memories of being young, and at that point we lived in Gaffney, South Carolina, and we would make trips out to Spartanburg because that's where Westgate Mall was, and
Where the big city was.
Oh yeah, and that there was like
a Walmart.
Well, off where the Walmart was, there was also a Best Buy and a Target, and there was a Party City over there too.
A Target. I didn't see a Target till I was, I think, 16 years old.
Oh shit!
I never saw a Target before then. I thought
you
were
had
just
never been to a Target.
a Target, man. Nah.
And when we would make our way over to the Party City, I remember distinctly one year all of a sudden seeing those Scream masks and the costumes and everything. And
Also known as Ghostface.
yes, definitely leaving a mark on me.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was something new. It was something scary. I was seeing it everywhere, and for some reason it's when I was watching Scream 2 is when I started kind of getting like those familiar, like, ooh, I feel like I remember like seeing trailers for this or like promo material for this movie specifically. This was the Halloween that I remembered what Ghostface, Scream, all of it was. So, did you wind up catching the first one in theaters, or did your folks allow you to go see it or any of that?
I caught it on VHS when it first came out because that was my video store days.
Nice.
No, I remember watching it on VHS first, and I was, when I was a kid, I knew old horror movies as old movies. And this was the new thing.
Yeah.
And watching it, even back then, I was like, this is something different. They're changing something like it. Even at 9, 10 years old, I'm not catching all the reference, but I'm catching some.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the biggest ones is the opener of the movie, Drew Barrymore, sitting there trying to make some popcorn, talking on the phone. And he asked her the question, who's the killer in Friday the 13th? He's amped her all the way up to this point. He's been ragging her ass. And she's under stress. She's like, it's Jason. It's fucking Jason. And I knew, even as 10 years old, no, he's not. He doesn't show up till the very end. That's Jason's mama. And that's when he gets her. Wrong. No, it is, you asshole. It is. No, it's his mother. And it's that voice, that whole thing. And, keep in mind, this is all loosely based on a true story of the Gainesville Ripper. So,
yeah. Of
Florida. So, with this one, I think, because there is those supernatural element from like the 80s slasher films, in the 70s, I think it hits a little differently, and it kind of creates its own fandom very quickly, and it's very well earned.
Yeah,
the first Scream movie is such a fantastic movie because another movie came out around this time, just like it. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh,
so these two movies came out around the same time, and you're talking about just hacking and slashing. Type movies. Mm-hmm. These both are fantastic. If you get a chance to rewatch those movies, they still hold up a little bit.
Yeah.
Typo Negative is the opening song. Summer Breeze by Typo Negative.
Yeah.
Is the opening song to fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well, so you've got that, and then you've got Red Right Hand from Nick Cave that reappears throughout all the Scream movies too, which I thought that was only in the latest one at 6. When that popped in, I was nerding out in the theater. I was like, oh, Nick Cave song. And then all of a sudden I was watching Scream 1 and you hear that ding, boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh, that was a callback to the first one. Oh, okay, cool. It's just in the first movie. All of a sudden, it shows up in the second one as a remix. And then the third one. I'm just like, what the fuck? That song is in every fucking version of Scream.
But, when these movies come out, there's, hey, what did I miss from the first movie? Did I miss something? They're doing a callback. Well, now I got to go watch the first one, again, find out what I missed. And that's how you build a franchise like that.
Now, let's talk about some of the tropes and the anti-tropes of the movie. Because in every single one of the films, there is the movie buff nerd, the Morrison of the group, the
the raccoon tour.
Yes, the one that's giving you the lowdown of, you know, you can't trust your loved ones. Everyone is a suspect. You know, never say, you know, I'll be right back. You know, he's laying down the ground rules. And then with each one, it's like, you know, we're in a sequel. We got to follow by sequel rules. And those, we're in a trilogy. This is the final chapter. We know what happens in trilogies. You know, the blah 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 blah. So you got to follow by these rules. Do you feel like that was pushed a little too hard by the third, fourth, and fifth movie?
Yeah, it pushed too hard. But because it's so fascinating in the first and second movie, you know, Jamie Kennedy he's warning people. He's the guy at the gas station. Don't go down that road.
Yeah.
Now, there's demons down there. It's just like, shut the fuck up. But like,
shut the fuck up, Jamie.
Yeah, but like, he's their friend. You know, that's the biggest part of it. This is someone within the group that's telling. This is someone in the Scoob in the gang that's like, hey, nah, this is wrong. Nev, maybe you shouldn't have sex today, because if you have sex, you're going to die. And look what happened to Rose McGowan. She got killed by a garage door. But nothing. And you know, it's so weird because watching these, if you go back and watch these movies, all these people are a lot older now, and seeing Neve Campbell through the movies as she goes forward, it's a strong character, like a Jamie Lee Curtis. But in the beginning, it's just like, hey, it's that girl from Melrose Place. Yeah, that's who it is. You know, she hadn't done much up to that point, other than probably, I think, Wild Things that came out around that time. Mm-hmm. But you got Jamie Kennedy, Neve Campbell, Rose McGowan, David Arquette as the cop.
Yes.
Courtney Cox as the plucky reporter. Blah blah blah. You know, you got people in their prime, right? Kind of like when we watch older movies with like Denzel or Jim Carrey or something like that. These guys were in their fucking prime. Mm-hmm. They weren't $20 million. And they were just like, hey, I got a job. So they acted the fuck out of it. And that's what you get out of the first 2 or 3 movies. You know, you get people that are really knocking it out because they don't really do anything else.
No.
Scream is their bread and butter. And the first 3 films, you know, are fantastic with that. But going into like the story itself, you know, we're given a pretty plain Jane story. Neve Campbell lives with her father. Their mother was killed by a man named Cotton. But we see Cotton, played by Liv Schreiber. We don't see him anywhere else. Again, in the whole movie. They knew they were building a franchise right then because it's Liv Schreiber. Let's use him again in the second movie. Well, why'd you get Liv Schreiber? He's pretty popular on that. He's a TV actor. It's like, oh, something. No, you showed me the gun. You got to use it eventually, motherfucker.
Not in this movie.
No, they just break the rules and like they kind of make fun of him in a fun, but like and not in a negative way, but in a lighthearted way. Especially with Jamie Kennedy's character. Like, look at Prom Night. Prom Night is probably one of the dumbest movies when it comes to slasher movies because they telegraph who the killer is the whole movie. Yeah, but he's just like, look what happened to Jamie Lee Curtis. She fucked up. Now she almost gets killed.
And another thing that I didn't know that honestly kind of made the movie experience a little better for me, I didn't realize that David Arquette and Courtney Cox met on the first Scream movie, were dating by the second, and were married by the third. Yeah. Almost kind of mirroring their characters' progression throughout those 3 movies. Yeah. That kind of made their relationship like a little cool, like better in my opinion. Yeah, no,
it's fantastic. It's just really it adds to the like dynamism of like the whole like I know the behind the scenes now. Yeah. It's like, holy shit, that's pretty cool. But you find out later on that, you know, Drew Barrymore did this on a fucking favor. Drew Barrymore did this first movie on the favor.
I didn't know those.
She said she didn't want to be the main character. That's what she said. Do me a favor, kill me off. And guess what? Her scene took 1 day. The film. So Drew Barrymore's character, because this is another thing about Drew Barrymore's character in the beginning of the movie. She's part of a group of friends. And it's only said in one line of dialogue, hey, who killed so-and-so? I don't know, but she's our friend. So when we see the group of friends, Nev Campbell, her boyfriend, Jamie Kennedy, Matthew Illard, Rose McGowan, they're a friend short out the gate, but we only see the 5, and they start slipping off. What it does is it creates a fake dichotomy of how many people are actually left, because Matthew Lillard and Ulrich, the boyfriend, they're the guys. I don't want to spoil a movie from 1997. Like, guess what? These guys did it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And honestly, like, because we can because we want to kind of cover all 3 movies a little bit, and we'll cover the back 6 on another episode. But to kind of jump to the end of that, as I was even telling you, I remembered that Shaggy was one of the killers. I had completely forgotten that the boyfriend was.
Yeah.
I just remembered that there was 2. So I'm just watching the movie, kind of doing the guessing game, still not remembering. And then when it hit, you're like, oh, fuck. So it's like, even though I had seen it before, I didn't remember it. So all these years later, they were still able to give me that tiny bit of a twist. Like, it wasn't like a, oh, wow, I didn't see that coming, but like a, oh shit, that's right, I forgot, fuck, oh damn. And the other thing I love about it is the ending scene. It is pure manic lunacy.
Yeah, these guys have fucking lost it.
Everyone in that scene played it so well. Matthew Lillard, the other guy, I forget his name, every one of them is playing it just crazy enough, just unhinged enough, because there's that fine line. There's that fine line between goofy and deranged, and both of them played deranged so well.
And what's really fantastic is we find out that Ulrich's character knew who killed her mom the whole time. And it's fucking terrible, because he's telling this to her while he's basically holding a knife to her throat. And you hit the nail on the head with the whole deranged. That is so hard to show in film. Pure manic derangedness, because there's nothing good that you can't fix deranged. You can fix mentally health. You can fix that, but full on deranged, these guys are too far gone. They're just ate the fuck up with it. Yep. Perfect example is when
ate the fuck up with it. That's good.
That's what we that's a saying. Somebody's ate the fuck up with it. But when he stabs Matthew Lillard when they're talking about their plan, and he's psyching himself up. You
stab me, I'll stab you.
And she's like, your guys are fucking crazy. No, we're not crazy.
We're making a movie.
Yeah, we're doing this. Society made us this way, bitch. But it's that new age of horror. Same with I Know What You Did Last Summer. A good revenge plot. He stabs Matthew Lillard. He gets overzealous and kills him. Plans have changed now. And then he starts waving that fucking knife around all crazy. And then we find out Jamie Kennedy isn't dead.
Mm-hmm.
He's alive the whole time. They were going to fuck him over and make him the killer.
Yep.
Oh my God, I survived. And what a twist. This is a twist that's actually used in a lot of, called the Third Man. It's an old horror flick. But this is the trope they use. The guy is the killer. He proved himself not to be the killer. Ulrich fakes his leaving, and she's attacked by Matthew Lillard.
Yep.
And then Matthew Lillard doesn't attack her, and then Ulrich attacks her. And so you don't really know, because in your mind it's like a investigation movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be this fucking guy. Oh no, sorry, Nev Campbell. It can't be your boyfriend. He has an alibi.
Yeah.
We tracked his cell phone, or did this or did that. There's no way he could have chased you through your house. It's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And now she looks bad. Now you're doing the little farm boy that he yelled wolf too many times, and now no one's going to believe this bitch.
Yep.
They played the long game with this girl, and by the second movie, I'm surprised she hasn't killed herself. Honestly, it's like doesn't trust a fucking anybody.
Talk about fucking resilience, bro. It's like, yeah, so like moving on to the second one.
If you're gonna kill me, you gotta be tough.
Yeah, it's fucking something, man. No, a quick side note, I I saw it, and this part of the thing I was clicking around trying to find again. I can't figure out where I saw the sentence. Oh, here we go. It was one of the highest grossing films of 1996 and became the highest grossing slasher film in the world.
Yeah.
So that is a huge accolade, and directed by Wes Craven.
And you got to think about this. The gap between slasher films back then. The 90s was not a big horror decade. The 80s was action and horror. That dominated.
Well, honestly, even in the 80s, I think that was more sci-fi horror because you had your aliens and your Predator.
Well, Alien comes out in 1979, the original Alien.
Right, but
Aliens is not. But like you still have Freddy's still kicking it around in 1987.
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to have your outliers, but it just feels like there was a lot more of that sci-fi.
Yeah, well, that was a big,
horror.
That was a big
of
part
the
of
80s.
that was when you start mixing genres. But you still, Jason and Freddy were still kicking ass. Michael Myers was still kicking ass. They weren't good movies, but
they were still killing.
He was still out there, and you had your exploitation films from the 70s making new movies. Your Slumber Party Massacre, stuff, shit like that. And then all of a sudden, 1989, going into 1990, oh, we're done. We need it. The only other slasher movie I could think of isn't a slasher. It's more of a weird-ass fucking sequel, part of the trilogy, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 with Matthew McConaughey with Renee Zellweger.
All right. We're going to do a little stab.
Yeah, that's basically, like, if you watch that movie, it's the weirdest fucking movie ever made.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah.
All right.
I keep killing, but these limbs keep staying the same age.
God damn it!
Because the dead never age. But
another thing that I really liked about not only just the first movie but all three movies is Dave and I talked about this on the last episode of Something Good For You, because we were discussing the fact that, like, my girl has been able to kind of get into Beavis and Butthead a little bit, but South Park is still a little beyond. And I think partly with that is, you, me, and Dave are all rather similar in age. So it's like we grew up seeing the progression of South Park into what it is now. And I think that it provides part of the enjoyment. When you watch the first Scream movie, and moving into the rest of them, the social commentary of the movies made me do it. That is something that is still rather relevant to this day. But the time in which it came out, it was so poignant because this was also in the middle of the video game scare.
Yeah, with Kenneth Starr and all of them coming to Congress.
Yes. So there was so much in the media of this content is ruining our children. And for the fact that they created a movie where the killer's motive genuinely was all of these things that Congress feared was very poignant.
I got a little different vibe from that. I got to think it was just like, because he says it in the movie, he's like, horror movies don't make you kill. They make you better at it.
Right.
So, that's what I got from it was these people wanted to do something bad and they perfected a way to do it by watching slasher movies. Mm-hmm. By creating this false world where these things are actually real, like a topo. And it's like, let me follow these rules and I could be a successful killer. A lot of this stems from why true crime now, all these people watching true crime is just making better criminals. No. People fuck up all the time. Yeah. True crime back in the day was so much fucking worse in the 20s and 30s. They were actually picking shit off dead bodies. So that's a fact. So the true crime now is pretty tame. Your girlfriend falling asleep watching a Ted Bundy documentary is a little tame compared to, hey man, they found Bonnie and Clyde, they're picking pieces off the motherfuckers. I got me a souvenir, I got me a pinky. Got me Bonnie Parker's pinky. Look at him, put in a jar of alcohol and give it to my grandchildren.
It dances.
Put some electricity in that shit. Like a dance.
But it's like, even with Scream 2, pulling in the idea of a copycat killer.
Yes.
Someone that saw, what was it, Stab? Yeah, that saw Stab, the in-universe Scream, and decided, oh, well, I want to make one of those movies. So even tackling head on the idea of, well, someone might see this movie, and since it was based on actual murders, well, it's kind of like the snake eating its own tail.
Yeah.
So the Stab movie is a reference to Scream, and their analogy is watching the movie would create other copycat killers. But the underarching thing is what you said earlier. The Scream movie was based on actual murders, so it is like the snake eating its own tail, or the Inception on the Inception is like, how many layers of meta are we gonna go with this?
An Ouroboros or Norman Goddard, that's what it's called,
Right?
But no, it's building onto itself, and that first movie was, we're making fun of these old horror movies a little bit, talking, pointing out the bullshit, the virgin has to live, No, not this one. Neve Campbell had sex right before she did, and she fucking knocked it out of the park. All right. What are the rules of the sequel? Jamie Kennedy explains it in posthumously, because apparently he died. But the opener for this one, A Death in a Theater, Jada Pinkett Smith is the victim. Of all people.
Yeah, of all people.
She goes to the movie theater. And the only reason I remember this is because of Scary Movie. In the Scary Movie movies. Yep. Those are just analogies for Scream. They're so goddamn, they're parodies. They're fucking perfect movies.
But see, is Scary Movie also the snake eating its own tail? Because if Scream is meant to be a bit of a commentary, satire on the genre, are we making satire of the satire?
Well, it's art imitating life and life imitating art by that point.
Yeah.
But like the Wayans brothers, they're not just parodying that movie. It's so much more.
Oh, yeah.
But they perfect it because it's so funny. Because he's the Matthew Lillard and Ulrich character at the end. It's so fucking funny. He just stabbed himself. Yes, Cindy, it's all that. It's just like, what the fuck? But with that being said, like with this one, it was, hey, because she survived, she was able to tell the authorities what the guy said before they died. And Cotton is able to be released from prison. Liv Schreiber's character. He had been freed, so now it's out of vengeance alone he is going to kill. And it's a MacGuffin.
Yep.
But it works perfectly. We get the Courtney Cox character, and then we get their characters, their versions of people in the Stab movies. Parker Posey plays Courtney Cox's character. And it's not till the third one where it gets really fucking weird with like Carrie Fisher.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But with this one, it's like, hey, we're making another Stab movie, but we're not pulling it off anything. Nothing happened. This first Stab movie is about you, Cindy. Okay, but nothing else happened to me after that, so there's no reason to make a second one.
Yep.
And then people start getting knocked off. And then we get our whole spiel with Jamie Kennedy kind of making fun of, all right, now
we're in a sequel now. We got to follow the sequel rules.
And what are the rules, And he just lays them out for him. I don't remember them verbatim. It's been a minute. But he basically just says, we're going to be running the game like this the whole time. And go back to the first movie. The death scenes alone are fucking brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, old girl running through the fucking woods, Drew Barrymore, and just getting snatched right before her parents come around that corner. Boom, gotcha, bitch. And then the cameraman for Courtney Cox just stabbed to death.
Like neck sliced open.
Yeah, just wide the fuck open. And also another thing is, Neve Campbell's dad is involved in this. He's a victim too. This whole fucking time. I love his parody version in Scary Movie because he's a drug runner and he's just like, honey, I'm going to be going. Are you going to see Uncle Pablo? Yep.
And the other thing too, with the whole life imitating art thing, in the second movie, do you think that they tried to go too hard with twists to try to make it too different?
I think they kind of had to because they kind of telegraphed the whole movie.
Right.
There's a lot of
because not once in that entire movie did I believe that Cotton was actually going to be the killer.
Yeah, but you're also a horror fan.
Yeah.
So like you're
so like the entire time watching, I'm like, I see how they're trying to make me think it is, but like I'm even watching this, creating my own alibis for him of why this couldn't be.
I mean, you got to look at it too. It's like from a director and producer standpoint is I just made one of the highest grossing slasher movies of all time. The people that love this movie aren't horror fans.
Yeah.
They showed out and they love the twist. All right, now I got to outdo myself.
Yeah.
I have to figure something out. And you got to get the same mystery books the same way, or mystery television movies. Hey, I got to make the twist even better. I can't pull a Hardy Boys. It's my cousin that I'm just now talking about.
That I'm only just now bringing up.
Yeah, it was him the whole time. God damn it, Duggery. It's just like, who the fuck is this guy? It's just like, it's the MacGuffin they add in the book. But no, I think it's okay. It doesn't go ape shit until about 4 and 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5 really go off the goddamn rails when it comes to...
5 wasn't too bad. 5 was the beginning of the reboot series.
Yeah, 4 though, 4 everybody just needs to fucking chill.
So
take away everyone's cell phones. It's okay.
So wrapping up on the second movie, trying to get to the Mickey winds up, his whole reason for doing this is revenge against Sydney for killing Billy.
Yes,
that's the whole reason for everything. You killed my friend, now I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, and it's very simple, cut and dry. And that was it's not really a twist, it's just reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, the person most likely to murder you is someone that you helped murder. You know, like or a relative of someone you helped murder. Yeah, this is a vengeance story all over again.
Yep.
Except this guy's the villain. He's portrayed as a villain, but if you were to rewrite the movie from his perspective, Neve Campbell deserves to fucking die because she's a killer. Yeah. But she did what she had to do because we saw her perspective.
And she always keeps that motherfucking thing on her.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Especially after that first movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, no. I would never leave my motherfucking house. Ever. If I was her. I'd be a shut-in.
And now, going into the third movie, I want to talk about this ongoing plot point. And it wasn't until the third movie did it honestly annoy me. Courtney Cox and David Arquette's plot, okay? They meet in the first movie. She thinks he's kind of a goof. He eventually proves himself. He finds some balls, you know, tells her to shut the fuck up and let him do his job. She goes, oh, okay, manly man, you know, and they share a kiss at the end. I liked where they picked up in the second movie. He was kind of, you know, distant and kind of an ass toward her. And she's like, why are you being like this? He goes... His simple wit gave off a Barney Fife, you know, impression. Really? That's what you thought of me? You can go fuck off, Gail. And like turns around, walks up. I'm like, yeah, fucking preach, King. You know, I'm like, fucking tell her. And, you know, they eventually reconcile by the end of the movie, which was fine. For them to kick the third movie off with Gail doing the exact same shit again, that was when I was just like, come the fuck on. Like, that was the only moment I went and rolled my eyes the entire franchise. Yeah. Because I'm just like, really? Really? Is this just going to be the ongoing joke that like Gail learns her lesson at the end of the movie, and then by the start of the next movie, everyone hates her again because she still wrote the book and called everyone assholes and took the credit for everything? Like, is she never going to not do that? Spoiler alert. No, she never doesn't fucking do that. In every goddamn movie, she does the same shit. At the very end, no, these people don't deserve to have their name in print. Or, you know, I'm going to write a book about the true hero of the story. Fast forward to the next movie. What the fuck, Gail? You know I had to do it. It's all about ratings and money. It's like, that was fine the first time. Let's do something else now.
I think what it was trying to play off the fact that Dewey is a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
All right. He bagged the first girl he was with, and then he stayed with it the whole time. You know, saying he made that mistake. And she is, you know, a genuinely mean person. Like, yeah. He's attracted to her, but he doesn't he's a glutton for punishment, basically. You know, he's going to let it ride and forgive her. and take her back. Let him fuck up his life again and take her back. And everybody kind of forgets something by the end of the second movie. His sister is murdered. Rose McGowan is his sister in the movie.
Yeah.
He's lost something. You know, he has skin in the game from the beginning. So everybody forgets that part about Dewey. Dewey's sister is literally murdered by these two assholes.
You're right.
And he has to live with him and Neve Campbell are closer to each other as characters than any other people in the thing. Gail, she lost the cameraman. And she treated that guy like shit.
Yeah. She treats everyone like shit.
But like, he got treated like shit, and when he died, she just takes off. You know?
Yeah.
So like,
well, there goes the cameraman.
no one has personal connections to anybody except for Dewey and Neve, or Cindy or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I do love the dynamic with Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell. It's just like, you just want Neve Campbell to beat this girl to death with a brick.
I did too. I just wanted to see her just deck her again.
And her put on the mask, and just her donning the mask, and it's the fucking what is it? The Empire Strikes Back. Dun, 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 Dewey.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Dewey, it was me. No! And
oh god. But no, so moving into Stab 3, Scream 3, this was, I thought this was better than the second one, but from what I was hearing from behind the scenes, this is when the major cracks started forming.
Yeah, so in this one, we're going back to a little thing that was so minor from the first movie. Cindy's mom. Cindy's mom was murdered. Why was she murdered? Well, she was having an affair, and one of the victims of that affair killed her. Well, why was she having an affair with Liv Schreiber's character?
She's a slut.
Well, she was an actress first in Hollywood. And it turns out that she was with a producer who tried to make her a career, and then she changed her mind, and it didn't sit well. So now we have a plot line tracing back to Neve Campbell. It's all about, you know, bloodlines on this one, you know, and that's usually the title of like the third movie every time. It's like blah blah blah, third 3 revenge, bloodline, yeah, Hellraiser 3 bloodlines. Like, yeah. But that's what that comes from, you know. I will say this: you saw the movie Dodgeball, right?
Yeah.
Someone took. You remember that scene where they come out in gimp outfits? They get mistakenly given gimp outfits.
Yeah.
And it's like a bunch of fog, and they're just coming out, and they can't really see anything, but they're wearing like leather, Stephen Roots in like a gimp mask, and they come out. Someone took a screenshot of that, put it on a black t-shirt, and put Hellraiser 3 Bloodlines.
Oh my god.
And I laughed my ass off seeing that shirt.
No, my favorite line in that whole thing is, all right, we're going to go ahead and do practice. Sir, those are wrenches. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Just rip torn, just throwing shit. So Liv Schreiber actually plays a bigger part in this because he dies.
But yeah, the whole idea of Scream 3 is the fact that Hollywood is going to be creating a Stab 3.
Yeah, but also a franchise.
Yeah. And so it's like now they're wrapping up a whole franchise, and now it's just it's meta on meta.
Yeah.
On meta, because the entire time we're dealing with actors portraying Sydney and Gail and Dewey, while Sydney and Gail and Dewey are showing up to the movie set, and the Gail actress is like, oh my god, it's the actual Gail, yada yada yada, and like winds up being like her fucking like shadow yippy puppy the entire fucking movie.
That's Parker Posey.
Yeah,
she's fucking hilarious.
And a lot of fucking cameos in this movie too.
Oh, yeah,
like fucking Jay and Silent Bob, as you mentioned earlier. The weirdest cameo from Carrie Fisher. So, as you mentioned earlier, Sydney's mother was in Hollywood. So, her and Gail are trying to figure out more information. Gail is scouring the lot trying to find information on the specific name. The Gail actress is like, well, we're just going to do this. My Gail would do this. Gets down there and they run into Carrie Fisher. And they were like, are you that, what, the Star Wars girl? No, that's not me. That got given to some other girl. Whoever was going to fuck George Lucas got the fucking role, and I wasn't going to do it. It's just like, of all weird cameos for Carrie Fisher to do, that's the one.
No, it's not our weirdest cameo, but it's up there. Our weirdest one is in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back as a holy roller.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because I've been so used to seeing that cameo, that's just like, yeah, Carrie Fisher is a nun. Why not?
Yeah, because she's also done in Wonderland, where they go to her house and do coke on her bathroom mirror. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of like Hollywood insider stuff going on in this one until we find out who the bad guy really is.
Yeah, the director.
Yeah, the director, who turns out, I think, to be Cindy's half brother, because he's the bastard son of her mom.
Yep.
As she gave up, that is never mentioned by the mom at all at any point. Before she died, because she's killed too soon. You know, this goes into a lot of 3 tropes. You know, the third sequel, like a good version of this is Friday the 13th Part 3. Where Jason gets his mask in Part 3, but we find out that it wasn't just the counselors that hid the body or hid the fact that Jason died in the lake. It was the townspeople too. So yeah, there's repercussions on top of repercussions. You know, we're never given the full story, so that's why we have the sequels and stuff like that, because we're still going to keep the same cast members for the most part. Our core 3: Courtney Cox, Dewey, and Cindy.
Yeah,
but. No, this is how it is, and the fact that Jamie Kennedy had the forethought to make compendiums to his weird little video diaries.
Yeah, because
in case I die, watch this.
Yeah, because he died in the second film, and then now in the third film, they put in this videotape, and he goes, "If you're watching this, I died." Which also means we are now in a franchise, which is why you're watching this. Yeah. It's just like, God damn it.
Can you imagine if he just got hit by a bus? If somebody found that, I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
And also, awesome opening scene. Cotton gets it in the opening scene this time, because he's a successful talk show host. What was it? It's like Picking Cotton or something like that. It was some play on his name that was just like
Cottonfield.
Yeah, it was just like, God damn.
Yeah. Well, in this one, you also find out that Nev Campbell is works for a suicide hotline.
Yeah.
In the beginning. I haven't seen this movie in more than a decade. I still remember this shit like the back of my motherfucking hand. I didn't even bother to look at the cast list. I remember all these motherfuckers, because it's one of the most surreal fucking movies I've ever watched.
And that was also a cool bit, because as soon as I saw the subplot of her working for a suicide hotline, I was like, I know where this is going. And it was sure, and even though you knew it was going to happen, once it happened, it was still that, oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh no. But I think I enjoyed the third one a bit better than the second one, even though by the third one I was getting really tired of Gail going to be good and then she was bad, and then honestly the Jamie Kennedy type character of just like over explaining what's going to be happening. It's just like, okay, we're in the third movie, I feel you. Let's just get on with it.
The third one is fun.
It is.
That's why it's so much better. It's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah,
because we're watching these actors get portrayed by other actors, and that's always fun in a movie.
A lot of recreations of old scenes.
Yeah, and it's just like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
And like the whole crescendo at the end where Sydney's having to fight off Ghostface in a reproduction of her house.
Yeah, so every time she touches the door's not real.
Yeah.
She's
like, son of a bitch.
He just barrels through that motherfucker. Like it ain't shit. The car's not quite real.
Even though, since he is the director, he would know what all the real fake doors were.
Yeah. You're pointing out problems.
You're not allowed to do that in horror movies, god damn it.
You're making waves.
I'd shut that pretty little mouth of yours if I was you.
Here,
Before you get yourself hurt.
Here, son. Pour yourself a dip. Pour you some chaw.
But yeah, that's basically a little bit of an overview of the first 3 movies, because we could go super in depth on them, but I mean, they are just fun slasher films, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, this came out around the same time as, I know what you did last summer, and I still know what you did last summer, which was this,
And we got those 3 between the time span of 96 to 2000.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was another one. This is around. So Scream comes out in 1996. Frighteners comes out in 1996. You know what Frighteners is? Jamie. What's his name? Michael J. Fox. Can see dead people.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really fucking kind of just wild out. But at one point, you could see Frighteners, Scream, and Dusk Till Dawn at the same time in theaters.
Damn.
What a time to be alive.
That's a triple showing right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling out at work.
Shit, you probably wouldn't have even had work that day.
Fuck, you know what? In the 90s, it wouldn't have mattered because you could have quit and just walked across the street and got to the job. Because that's what the 90s were all about.
Oh, the 90s were about free-flowing jobs and
an internet bubble that it didn't really exist.
And a bunch of murders.
Yeah. Oh, and 3 strikes rules and all these other terrible things.
Your gold stars.
Gold stars, yeah.
Can't forget your gold stars in school. But no, getting a little bit closer to Halloween time, we'll definitely cover...
You got gold stars?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I just got a bunch of red cards.
I got a couple gold stars. The teachers didn't like me, though.
I did not get gold stars. We had the card system, and we had yellow cards. You had green cards, blue cards, yellow, brown, red, and then you got a black card. No one ever got a black card. I did twice. Yeah.
You got black cards twice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, man, Pokemon.
Overachiever.
Fuck yeah. Pokemon was out, man. I was trying to learn that 151, not trying to learn math.
I can count, bitch. Look, 151.
Yeah, I counted 151.
That's all I need, baby. 3 for Dale.
Yeah, from fucking Charmander to Mewtwo.
But we will definitely be covering the rest of them, getting a little bit closer to Halloween time, especially because by Scream 5 and 6, they change up the whole thing because they bring in kind of a new group of folks. They make it very clear in the movie that it's called a requel and not a sequel or a reboot or any of that.
Why not?
They go hardcore in the fucking paint with the references and shit on that one.
Yeah, it's a wild show.
Yeah. And I still haven't seen number 4 because number 4 is not on Max.
Yeah, number 4 is weird.
But I did listen to a bunch of YouTubers talk about it, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds like a really fucking weird movie.
Dude, they basically put a buffet out for this motherfucker. Like,
yeah. I also heard it got like real social commentary.
It does, but the kills are better.
Yeah.
The kills in 4 are so much better.
Well, and part of the reason on that is after I watch movies, I love digging in and just hearing like all the back and forth and inside dish on it. There was so much studio meddling by the 3rd and 4th movie with like how much blood was allowed to be shown, how long they could stay on a kill scene, all that stuff. And that's part of the reason the 2 new movies have been kind of visceral, because those kind of enforcements aren't there anymore. It's just rating code.
Yeah.
It's just stay within your rating.
Yeah.
But so the new movies have been a lot bloodier and a lot more graphic when it comes to the kills. So
Yeah.
it's a new era of Scream, and I don't know why I didn't jump on the train before all this, but my girl turned me onto it. She's like, "You've got to watch the movies." I'm like, "Okay, fine." after watching that first one, I was like, so we're watching the second one tomorrow, right?
Well, that kind of goes into what Scream really does. It attracts people who aren't big horror fans.
Right.
Like Rachel doesn't seem the kind of person who's a big horror fan, but she likes those. So
yeah.
In 1996, there wasn't a lot of slashers coming out, but there were people that want to know what they're about. Like, this is our generation, kind of like when it comes to music. Oh, my parents listen to that. I want to listen to this. So, yeah, now you got a more contemporary thing, and it's drawn in a lot of people, and that's why it's the #1 slasher movie of all time. And you got someone like Wes Craven behind the helm,
Yeah.
It's like, he knows what he's fucking doing. He
might have done a couple things throughout his career.
Here and there. I heard the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are all right.
Yeah, right. First couple.
That second one's gay as fuck, though.
According to one Morrison.
Yeah. The gayest horror movie I've ever seen. Literally. It's the gayest one.
You're not even being mean. You're just stating a fact.
I'm stating a fact.
An unequivocal and undeniable fact. It is the most homosexually charged horror movie.
Yeah, they really homosexualed it up.
Good job. Now you're getting podcast ready. Now you're getting radio ready.
Yeah. And let me tell you another thing.
All right. Well, before this...
One more goddamn thing.
But no, guys, if you have enjoyed this, especially with Halloween coming up, if you guys have any sort of horror or Halloween themed topics we should cover on Couch Potatoes, definitely let us know. If there's a specific cryptid, cult, or conspiracy we should go down, let us know. I definitely feel that we're probably due for another Aliens episode on Cryptid Conspiracy, considering all the recent news. So I'm sure that'll be coming down the way. Wes even provided us a new clip in the Discord for us to discuss when it comes to alien things, because Dave and I got in a very spirited debate on something good for you when
does
it
he
comes
believe in aliens?
Yes, he does.
Cool.
Check out the episode. I think you would enjoy it.
I listen to enough stuff.
Well, at least check out that portion.
I'll see what I can do.
But no, we get into a very spirited, heated debate over it all. So
it just devolves into, no, man, Gamecocks won the goddamn series.
It did devolve at a certain point a minute.
But that's always fun.
Because according to him, I'm being too hard on one specific person. When I listened to it, I know what I said, I could hear it, I wasn't saying that. I was talking about a generality, using him as a basis.
What do you know? You think the earth is fucking round. You spirits, globalists.
I still think the phone call's coming from inside the house.
Always coming inside the house.
That's where we disagreed. So that's where it gets big on that. So if you guys want a little bit of a ridiculous alien conversation, check out the latest Something Good For You, episode 139. But yeah, if you have any other suggestion for us, leave it in the Discord. Sign on up. We've gotten a few more new members. Welcome. Hang out. Enjoy yourselves. There's some tea off in the corner, and the brownies will be out of the oven in a few minutes. But until then, for this episode of the Couch Potatoes, I've been Alex and Chris. Do you have any sort of final thoughts for us?
Everybody get you about $25. Spend it on Max, Paramount, Showtime. Watch these fucking movies before they get taken off the goddamn streaming service. Get them while they last. It's a fucking fire sale out there. And horror movies are really knocking it out for your 2023.
It's a fire sale out there. Come on down to Hawaii.
Come on down.
You've been listening to the Something Good Network. If you liked what you heard, you can follow us on Instagram, and check out the other great shows on the network. Link is in the episode description.